Hello, hello everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to yet another stream. Today we are going to continue what we did last time. We are doing complete no AI code. We are going to work on a URL short. It most likely will be something which is in the. It's not going to be something scalable, but it's going to be something that a small scale application, a small scale organization might be using, a small scale product might be using, so we don't have to look for scale right away. So yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. Last time, what we didn't do much. We just created the database, and as you can see here, it's running. So yeah, everything is working fine. Today we are going to continue from here and see where we can reach. Today I might be reading the chat a little bit less because I'm going to concentrate more on coding part. There are lots of things to explore actually, and that's the entire idea. Right. So starting with it, basically, if you look at the entire OIDC flow, right, and here is basically the reference if anybody wants. What usually happens here is that okay. So what usually happens is that first you have to create an anti-forgery state token. This is basically in terms of CSRF, making sure that CSRF attacks are not possible with this cross-site request forgery. This is something that maybe is important. So I would put this in the reference sometime. And put this in the request sometime. In the references. The second thing here is that you have to create a state token. The state token here that you create is basically going to be something which you send it down. So you must protect the security of the users by preventing request forgery attacks. The first step is creating a unique session token. We are not going to do a session token. The reason behind this is if you do a session token, you have to manage it within yourself. I don't want to do it. So one of the ways of scaling anything is basically moving it to the client side, is how I understand. And what I think can do here is that we're going to just create a JWT token here, right? That holds your state between the app and the user's client. We don't want to do it. You later match this unique session token with the authentication response returned by the Google Auth service. So what usually happens is that you have to make a call, something like this. So this would be a good example of a call. So you say response type is code. So you're asking for an authentication code, authorization code. The client ID, here you have to give the client ID. This is just a sample client ID from the website. I have already created a client ID. I'm not going to do it on stream. Those are pretty good secrets which you should never leak. So I have already done that, and it's already in my local, and I'm just going to refer through local environment variables. Then the scope, usually OpenID and email is what you send. Once you have done that, you give a redirect URI. Redirect URI is something which makes a callback to your application, and you have to make sure that this particular API is actually existing. Like you've already whitelisted on the other side of your app, on the when you are creating the Google this thing, right? Then you have to create a security this thing. So if I just do an URL decoder, so. So if I just look at this, right? Yeah. So it is basically, yeah. So this $3D is equals $20 is space, if I'm not wrong. We can actually check that if I just put a $20 here, and if I take over, yeah, that's a space. So anyways, that's not the thing that we are looking for today. So this actually kind of makes more sense, I hope so. So if you see here, this is one of the examples, state token, that security token or state that you're sending. If you decode it, it's basically a bunch of garbage, whatever it is. URL is this. Some of the things which you can actually figure out, and you can validate that, okay, I send a request to Google, Google is sending back something, and not somebody in with a middleman attack or something, right? Nonce is a number only used once. This is something which will help you not replay the same um, same request again and again. So nonce is one of the things. What we have to do is once we send this, we have to store it on our site. Well, one of the things I think we should be doing here is that we have to just okay. So what we have to do here is that we just have to say that okay, we're just gonna create a JWT token, and the JWT token is gonna be in the way where you have a nonce. You can have an email, but I'm not going to do an email. I'm just going to do an expired at. Okay, so these are the two things that we're going to validate against. But the only problem here is that nonce is basically not for replace, which means you have to store it somewhere. I'm just going to store it in memory for now. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to store it in memory for now, and then we are going to just clean it up. Email we can send, so we can know that exactly for this particular user we have send the request. Instead of email, we can do a client ID because of the fact that we don't probably have the access to email right away. Okay, so this is the entire plan, and let's actually get into it and see how much we can go forward with. Right. So let me zoom in a bit because I feel you guys won't be able to see. So let me actually increase this to... Does that work? I hope that works. I hope that works. Okay, how do I increase the font for this? I forgot. I will figure it out. Okay. Anyway, so this is not the project that I'm looking for, so let me just go close this guy. Can you, what do you close the project? Oh, it just says open. Okay, so there's no project loaded right now, I think. Let's actually open a project. So here, I think we can go GitHub.com /AFA Snip /Backend. What are you kidding me, dude? Because it's Devin. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna say, don't show again, please. Workspace detected, right? Yes, please enable it. Good. You are giving me a lot of information which I don't need right away. So I feel one of the things we did here, I just go to the backend. Yeah. So it's 314, but it still kind of says 313. That is not something that I really want. So I'm not sure why it says 13 here and 14 here. So let's do one thing quickly. So what if I okay. Cool. So can we just refresh? And we just refresh. Yeah, okay. So now I think it's gonna say 3-4, which is pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome because I think globally I have 3420, so that would make sense. Let's quickly create a main. Oh, we already have a main. Why is my... Okay. I think, yeah, I just installed it, which means I kind of have to set it up a little bit. So sorry for that. We have a key map. Yeah, not known. I just want okay. So can I have macOS install? I don't think this is gonna be the one that I created on. I most likely want this. Yeah, I most likely want this. Just let me know if the voice and everything is correct. Let me quickly also see on my phone.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. See
Oh, I'm sorry. I muted myself. I'm really sorry. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm good. I'm good. My bad. Sorry. I muted myself because I wanted to hear myself on the phone if the voice is correct or not. Yeah, so we just continue with the last day's project. So I think you were there last day, so I concentrate a little bit more on coding today. It's 8 o'clock. I'll try to finish it up by 9. I have to leave for somewhere. So let's see how much we can achieve. So we're trying to bind this environment to this. Okay, so can I just say, let's, how do you, okay. Maybe I can print out this Google login, see that? Okay, this is your local environment. What? Okay, here's the local environment. And I hope it actually auto-loads this. So go back. Because that's changed to API login Google. So it just says true. Okay, so how do you access that guy? How do you access the guy? Okay, it just says true. That's weird. Okay. Let's look at reads variable and set none. Can I just not have a custom file? Custom path or something like that? There has to be a way to actually provide a custom path, right? If you want to use variables in a value, surround them by this as bare sir, blah blah blah. You probably want to add a okay, so you can do that. That's exactly what I want to do. That's exactly what I want to do. So from this, what is it called? Dot end values, and here we're not gonna do that. App state dot environment should be dot values of this. So what if I just chill that? So app state environment, not Google login. It's just this if I say, and if I just reload this guy. Okay, cool. So now I suppose it's a JSON by default. I hope so. Where is the network? How do you do networking here? What is it for file icon? What? Am I going crazy right now? No. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah. So what is the content type? It's application JSON by default. I don't know if you guys can see, but I don't know how to increase it on the dev portal. But yeah. Again, like I said, I'm okay to leak the secret because this is just a local application. I'm not gonna host it anywhere. You cannot do shit with this secret. So whatever. All right. So. Now the question is, we also need, if I'm not wrong, it's called pie chart, something like that. So let's close this. PyGWP, is that what you call it? Yeah, PyGWP. And this we have to see how you do it. So JWT encode, and you just pass it this way. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Oh, okay. So now we have this attached to the app state. That would make sense because the entire application, it might not be the correct design because your application state shouldn't be having the secrets. You can have a separate config and all that. I probably don't want to go through that path right now, you know. But yeah, whatever. So what I'm going to quickly do here is I'm going to call this Google login because you can have different logins. So in here now, we have to create a nonce. And how do we create nonce? Lastly, I remember looking at it, and one of the things we can do is import secrets. Secrets.token byte, something like that. Cool. So you have that, and cannot decode this. So is it skip? Can you just not take anything and decode it? No. Oh, it's just random bytes, I suppose, and doesn't have anything. Just garbage. But it has to be in a certain character set, right? So man, not that. Help secrets token. There's a bit distortion in the voice. Yeah, I've tried to fix a lot of it. I really didn't fix anything. Let's see if I can fix it a little bit. I don't know if that fixes a little bit. Hope so. Token bytes. Okay, return a random string containing 8 bytes. If n bytes is none or supplied, a default value is used. So if you give it a 16, it's going to give you back something like that. And do I have UUID? Okay, UUID. How do you generate UUID? So you can just generate a random UUID saying this, and UUID 7 is there. One of the things we can also do is import hashlib md5. I think you just pass it like that. I think, okay, that worked, but do I have to convert it to a string? Or no? That is not how you do it. Awesome. Wait a second. Oh, okay. Alright. How do you do that? So I have a bunch of those SHA and different algorithms to work with. Return the digest of the bytes passed to the update method. X digest. Oh, so we just have to do an hex digest. You say update and then you say digest. Cool. So import secrets, import hash lib, secrets.token bytes. So let's store something in here. Cool. And what's the type of key, by the way? It has to be a byte array, right? It's bytes. So there's a difference between byte array and bytes in Python. I think bytes is immutable and byte array is mutable. Python bytes plus 6. Whole bytes for each variable, blah blah blah. The primary difference is bytes is immutable and the other one is okay. Cool. Makes sense. Makes absolute sense. Cool. So we were just trying to explore how to generate nonce. Right. To be fair, I'm just gonna do this. UUID.UUID7. Do you support that? Okay. And can I just do a string on that? Cool. We're just gonna, go through that. UUID7. By the way, do we have a string on this? Just can call a string on this. Okay. What are you crying about? Doesn't define string or so. What? It gave me a string right here. Am I going crazy right now? So let's remove all this stuff from here. Yeah, I don't know what it says, but okay, whatever. Sure. So you have a nonce, and I believe time, is it? Which gives you time, yeah. So that gives you, that gives you in this. So kind of have to do that. And Unix timestamp for epoch converter is what we want. It's 4 yeah. So okay, cool. So that's giving the correct thing. That's giving you a correct thing, and I suppose it gives you 819. Okay, so it gives you pretty decent thing. So issue add can be can stop completing stupid stuff. So in here, I suppose it's time, and we have to convert into int. Maybe also this. So I suppose, how do I add the so well, most likely we don't need that. So expired at, and I'm just gonna say, so I believe this is in seconds, right? And you have that. So let's say it expires in 5 minutes. So at 5 minutes, every minute has 60 seconds. Then you multiply it by 1000, and you multiply it by 1000. Is that what you're supposed to do? How many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 7. So we can do this. In plus, I don't think so. We have to do that. We can just roll milliseconds, and I guess, yeah. Okay, sometimes it doesn't let me copy and stuff and all that. Okay, awesome. Okay, 9, house, inch, plus 5, 20,000. So you have this right now. Say this. Yeah, so it was issued at 8. Wait. There's something not right in here. I suppose that's the correct one. No, that is not correct. Oh, because this is 60. Also May 6th. Yeah, so I suppose we have to both give it. So we did it at 8:22. No, Father is wrong. I don't like this. I like this one. It clearly says if it's milliseconds or whatever it is. Yeah, so that's not the correct thing in here. Okay, what are we missing? Yeah, we're definitely adding something more. Man, stupid. Yeah, I'm pretty fucking dumb, I suppose. Thank you. Yeah, that kind of makes sense because at 823, 5 minutes is 828. Makes sense. Good. So we should be good in here, which is 5 into 16 into 1000. Okay, so this is your expired at, and this is where we need to create the JWT token. And did we add it? That was it, right? Okay, cool. So in here, how did the guy do it? JWT encode, and you have to give it some payload, right? So the payload here just can be nonce, which is nonce app state state sign key, something like that. I forgot what its name. But I actually gave update one state sign secret. State sign secret algorithm is H256. Import this, and this is your token or state. Okay. So here is you need a response code. Yes. Okay. Client ID. So this is where we are gonna say Google secrets. How you're supposed to load that one up? You're supposed to load it up by saying so this is gonna be secrets. Snip. I suppose that's first one. Okay. So the client ID is gonna be Google secrets of Google client ID. Okay. So this is from wait. And this thing we don't have to do that. We can just say this. Do we have to encode and send it, or do we can just send? I suppose we can take this and then URL encode it and send it. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. So the redirect URI has to be this. Makes sense. 8000. And let's make this API auth. So let's make it Google login. And state. State is going to be state. Nonce we can send the same thing. And nonce is going to be. So this is your authorization auth URL. Let's see how it's formatted. Can I, by the way, just do it in that way? Yeah, I suppose we can do it. So that's pretty cool. Oh, I love Python for those stuff. Okay, I just gotta be back in a second. So yeah, it is back.
points in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me. That's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you
Hello, I'm back. I quickly want to see how it appears on my phone. Hello, is this now better and there's no distortion? I'm just checking. Yeah, I understand the voice is still not crisp, but yeah, I'm gonna work on that next day. I was a bit hungry, so I bought a little bit of food for myself. Anyways, let's continue. Cool. So you have the auth URL, and we have to make the requests, right? We have to make the request. So one of the things I remember is you have to send it in a very specific. Uh, have to make a response. You just make a call, and what call is it? The next step is to format HTTPS get request with appropriate URI parameters. Note the use of HTTPS rather than HTTP node steps in the process. HTTP connection refuse. You should retrieve blah 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 blah. Okay, so client ID, response type, scope, redirect URI, state, nonce, login hint, and all that. It's not something that I'm going to do right now. But the only question is, what is the headers that I have to send? Do I have to send any headers? Do I not have to send any? Clients must ignore unrecognized blah 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 on the server. You must control the state received blah 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 blah. Maybe here we can check how we're doing it. So I don't remember how we did it. I look at the controller in the Google Co-op. Controller is here. Yeah, so it's called initiate. So you build the URL. And you don't send anything, you just send okay, so you just send this back because you're sending this back to the UI, right? So okay, so I have to do it like that. I suppose we have to do it like that. Response dot status code is you can just say found. I mean 3.0. You have 3.01 and 3.02, I suppose, right? HTTP status codes. I'll just forget. Move permanently, move temporarily. So this might not be a good idea because this is cached. So maybe a 3. Found. The types don't match, I suppose. What is this? Can this just simply be a int? Okay, it can be an int. So we can simply do a few. Response dot headers. Location is the auth URL. And do I have to return response or say something? Yeah, so right now there's no secrets involved, which means I can still look at it. Right, I can still look at it in my browser. So we can ignore all of this stuff. We can ignore this for now. So, cool. So API auth Google login. I make a call, you get a 500 internal error. Because for what reason do I get an internal error? Google client ID not found. Dude, gotta be kidding me. Can it not load up this part? Oh. So in here, that's fine. But yeah, I can load up this part. Why I cannot load up this? Why I cannot load up this? Yeah, it's there. So that's not the issue. That is definitely not the issue. Okay, I'm gonna go and see if it moved for a second.
just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name. Grass green and so alive. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah.
Okay. Definitely I couldn't figure out this happening. We are sending this particular URL here. Only thing I suspect is this comma. And I also suppose one other thing here is that for the scope, right? Maybe we can look at one of the scopes that actually supports. Maybe we can see that. If the profile value is present, the ID token might not be guaranteed to profile claims of the okay. That's not the case in here. So one thing I feel is what we can do here is that when we have something like URL lib, okay. There's nothing like that. There is no info. Okay. Python URL. Also, one thing I made a mistake I feel here is that space 20 I think is I mean it's a space, not a comma. So maybe that's a mistake I did here. Okay, let's see if that kind of works. Because I checked every other secrets, everything is fine. Only thing remaining here is this. Fuck! Holy fuck! I did the stupidest mistake ever. Awesome. Good man. The pizza is stuck to each other right now. Anyways, I'm pretty hungry, so sorry. But if I hit on this, it should say you are not found, right? Yeah. So I don't have this URL. And it's gonna come back with this. Come back with this. ISS. Okay, it's issued by. Maybe one of the things you can actually do this. So this is the code that you have to use to actually make the next call. Yeah, I heated up for too long. It's on cardboard right now. Fake official X. I don't know if you're still here. If you're there, I told you not to spam. Just don't listen, bro. Yes, code is what we need, right? Code is what we need, I suppose. Okay. Let's make this API. Oh. Holy shit. It knows everything. So now we have to confirm the anti-forgery statement. We are getting this back. State is why is there no request? Let's see if that flow works. Okay, it asked to do that. Continue. Cool. We got back this. We got back this thing. Okay, I suppose I have to confirm the code. So this is one error if it's not the code. why does decode take in all the other things? I don't know why. Okay. What if cannot verify? Does it show an error or something like what? Okay. So it's expired. Generally, I think you say expired. Really doesn't kind of matter. Cool. So it actually gives you back that. So one of the things we can do is if it's this, then one thing we can do here is So on the response. Otherwise, I suppose we have to do things. Otherwise, let's look at the document and what it says. So once you say this is, so this validation needs add validation against the nodes. Something like that. Okay. So exchange the code for the access token and the ID token. The response includes a code parameter. So code should be request query parameter code. By the way, can I just do FastAPI query parameter? Yeah, I guess we can do it. So how do you do it generally? Okay, you just say that. So I guess one of the things we can do here is instead of trying to get it like this, we can say state string and code with string. Suppose we can also do that from this. Okay. So in here, what we do is now you make a call to this. You make a call to this. You have to pass it. So this request must follow a post body. Okay. Okay, it's a post body. So I suppose we need requests. Do we have a client in here? FastAPI client. It has a test client, but it doesn't have an actual client along with it. Client. Okay. Client with FastAPI. Internal testing client is not something. Requests. Cache are normal. Okay, so I guess it's fire. So now, I suppose what we want is all of these things. Can you just quickly copy paste these things in here? Wait. What just happened? Okay. So let's remove this part. So you have to make a requests dot post. You have FastAPI or request, so why did I? Okay, we'll see. We'll see. So what it needs. Why is it not fixing the imports? I don't know. For requests, ports, optimize imports. Okay, now that works. Optimize imports. Control Shift Alt. Okay. Can I just change that? Optimize imports is gonna be this. Fine, okay, so if I have that. Oh shit, I did the wrong thing. I did the wrong thing. Anyways, we'll fix that later. I basically removed one of the imports and that, so that's wrong. Okay. So now, what I have to do here is, I have to give the URL, you have to give data, you have to give props. What is props, buddy? Optional file request. So do I have to give headers? Requests.post set form body. This is a form body, right? Application name. You have to say form data. Save that. Okay. Cool. Headers should be. We can take from here. So, content type is this. Okay. I don't see anything else mentioned here. So, I'm just gonna go with that. Open URL. This is gonna be the token URL. Form data. Okay, so form data, first you have a code. Code is code. Then you have a client ID. You have a client secret. Okay. Then you have a redirect. Redirect URI, which we have here. So I'm simply gonna copy this type. This is what we have. What else? Branch types. Oh. So now requests post token URL. You want to have the data as this and headers as this. And this is going to be a response. Why is it saying this? Issue missing return statement on okay, yeah. We have it. Okay. So we can return the response. Not that response, buddy. Okay, so output. This is where we go. We say this. Sorry, not 90. Okay. See how much we can do. We'll see how much we can do. What is there? We don't provide it in this way. How else do you provide it? Okay. I'll just be back in 2 minutes, I think. Left. Just a second. Cool. I think now question is only keeps on saying type argument. What does equal alchemy say? What? Yeah. I cannot print the foundation. What if I run a debug? So not debug. Why is it? Reload dev nodes. Okay, I want to do that. Cool.
I've been painting every fence I know, every color bleeds into the same. 'Cause before you go and walk away, yeah, you better know where you're going. Hey, you're a wanderer just like me. Yeah, you better know where you're going. I've been painting every fence I know, every color bleeds into the same. 'Cause before you go and walk away, yeah, you better know where you're going. You're a wanderer just like me. Yeah, you better know where you're going.
So the issue that we're getting here is that the brand type is not correct. If I do that, Okay. Hmm. So, response status code not equal to we cancel it. So response dot body is it response body is this. Okay, so we get the response body. It's fine. Let's close everything else. A successful response should give you all of these things. Okay, you have an access token. Okay, you have an ID token contains identity. Okay, this is right. Okay. Obtain user information from the ID token. Okay, an ID token payload is this. And Google ID token may have the following fields on its claims, blah blah blah, and that. Authenticate the user. After authenticating this thing, you should query your app uses database. If the user already exists in the database, you should start an application session for that user if it's a requirement. Okay, so this is where we have to create a JWT token for the user. Right. This is where we have to create a JWT. One of the things I want to do right away is do that and see how that works. Okay, so this is your ID token, and this is supposed to be the GWT token. Talking about, we should have all the users. Okay. Okay, so you have all the information in. Let's copy this. You have all the information here. You can check if it's issued here. ACP, sure. What is ACP? Audience. So audience is me, and ACP is also me. Subject, I'm guessing, is a user. I can have email verified is true. Add hash. Don't know what that is. Nonce net comes back, and this token expires. Unix 9 spam. And look at this. So it expires at 10:32. And there's also a refresh token, I suppose. So let's just see. There's also an access token. There's also a refresh token. There's no refresh token. It's just an access token. So we didn't get back a refresh token. Access type was set to offline and authentication request. Okay. Okay, so refresh token might help you to actually request new tokens without trying to like you can remember me stuff, so you don't have to always go through the flow. You can just refresh the access token, I suppose, but we didn't do it. So for this, we have to say access type parameter is set to offline. Access type parameter is set to which one? Authentication. Okay, so in this particular thing, we had to set it to something like this. But okay, we are just gonna ignore it for now, and it's gonna go with whatever we have. We're gonna go with whatever we have. Okay, cool. I think we are good in here. I just wanna quickly see refresh token in here. Okay, so it's on another page. That should be fine. API reference. So this is for This is for claims, ID token claims. This is for authorization endpoint. We already did that. And response, missing user token endpoint. Okay. So let's do this thing quickly. What we are going to do here is we're going to do a couple of different things. So the very first thing we're going to do is OS.end authorization URL, Google authorization URL. So here, Google authorization URL is this. Okay. Token URL, I suppose it's called. What do they call it? Token endpoint. Yeah. So this is called authorization endpoint. This is called token endpoint. So I think we are good in here where we say this token URL. And here this here is OS.end Google token file. I'm gonna stop this guy. Okay. Okay. And so here I have to enter that. This, and that should be it. Okay. So one thing I quickly also wanted to do here was that, so once we get the response, right, we have to now connect to the database. So we're going to do everything together in here, and then we're going to figure out how to refactor this entire thing. So one of the things I have to figure out is how to actually do service layers, things like that. Now, one thing we can obviously do here is how do I register Fast API? FastAPI docs. Register router. Okay, so you define that. Okay, cool. So can we just say, have it in a different file? It's a question. We can see if we can have it in a different file. So we can have controller, and we can say Google login. Bye. You can shut up, but ask me again. And in here you have a bunch of stuff to import. You import this, import this, import this. Import this, and import this. Okay, so in here, I suppose what we can say is Google login. Doesn't work like that. So how do you do this? I also have to go pick up my wife, so I'm just checking the messages. Anyways, so invoice callback, and you're defining the callback router here. Okay. The big question is, how do you even do this? Invoice event is register routes. Okay, so you have something called an API. Okay, API router. You can say a prefix, you can do a tag, you can do default class response, and all that. Okay. But Google login router is this, and prefix is this. Tags is I suppose we can say this and Google for that router. You can do that. I suppose you can this, this. Why does it try? What? I don't know. White price. Okay. So that's that. How do I export this now? I don't remember how to export this now. Okay. Oh. Not quite sure. Let's see what happens. Does it still recognize? Yeah, it doesn't. That would make sense because it doesn't. I didn't register the single app dot router. Can I just say it's a Google router? Oh, app dot include router. Okay, maybe this is what I want. Okay. Okay, I suppose that's something, but why why give it as a Okay, I guess I have to stop the stream because I have to go pick up my wife now. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop the stream now. We really didn't get too much far, which kind of what is this? Which kind of also says how sad the state of engineering has been after AI. It takes so much time just to write. I mean, I have written 15 lines of 50 lines of code in 1 hour. That's a pretty fucking shameful thing, right? Okay. But it also says how much faster we have been because previously we used to Google our stuff and try and figure out everything. So now it's much more faster. Say exactly that I want this design and you create it. So you create an API router out of it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I did the same thing in here. So maybe I have to reload. So one thing here is, if I just go login, okay, it definitely redirected back. But then it went to something which says callback. because now, okay, it went the fallback state. It's fine. Tab icon is fine, but here, not Google callback state is not present. Oh my god, don't tell me it's true. Like, Python is the stupidest thing ever. Ever. Should have just used, I should have just used Spring Boot. I would have done this in I don't know how much time. This is so fucking stupid, dude. Okay, cool. Anyways, I think now it's a good time to stop because at least I know, okay, we have got all of these details now. So, I think next day what we can do is maybe tomorrow I'll stream it afternoon evening sometime. So, the main thing to do here is that one, I'll try to generate a JWT token. We already know how to work with JWT. It's not a big thing. So, we'll try to create a JWT token and send it back to the UI. On the UI, we have to log it to some dashboard where you start seeing your things. Okay. So we are definitely not going to do remember me right now. So if you say you're logged out, you're always going to ask for re-login back again. We're not going to cache anything right now. We're going to keep the session alive, things like that. But for now, I think it's pretty good. The only sad part is that holy shit, it's really installing some of these stuff for block. Yeah, it's gonna see a lot of code because of the fact that I have bend this thing, so maybe I can exclude. Okay. That's wrong. Okay, so now this is fair. So yeah, so we have 151 lines of code. That's fucking sad. But yeah, whatever. We have to go offline right now. Thank you so much for whoever joined. I hope this was a informative session. Next day, we are just going to create the JWT on our side, and then we are going to, I'm going to stop the music for a second here. Then we are going to basically send it back to the UI and stuff like that. So we also have to start creating the UI so that we can actually hook up things together and see how the flow is working. And maybe tomorrow I do it if I have some time in the afternoon or evening. So let's see. Thank you so much and have a good night. I am hoping you're having a great long weekend and stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.